this film? I mean, how did you get involved? And have you seen Heart 8? I mean, what was your impression of a young Paul Thomas Anderson? How did this even come about?
I got the script through the normal channels. I think I was still with CAA then, and the script was even more outrageous. I said, "Is this a porn film or is this a..." There was actual stooping in it, and then I met with Paul, and I had the actors in the room will love this. I decided I wanted to do it, and I met with him at the Formosa Cafe, and it was about 10 minutes in when I realized he was selling me. I wasn't there to audition for him. He was trying to convince me to do it, and it was one of the great moments of my career when I thought, and so I... How do you... Are you going to do the tone?
No, I remember having a similar meeting when I was trying to get you to do Thank You for Smoking. Let's talk about, let's go just really specific off the bat, if you don't mind. One of the kind of defining characteristics of a lot of PTA's movies, but particularly this one, are these very long shots where we're interacting with a lot of characters. And one of them specifically is about you. You're looking for your wife. You're wandering, through this house. You finally find her. She's played by Nina Hartley. The porn. She's like more than a star. She's like an aficionado. She's the porn doctor almost. And then you walk outside and you shoot yourself in the head. First of all, was it laid out like this in the screenplay?
Paul does a couple of those gazanga shots in this thing, and they're as hard as you would think. It took forever to set it up, and but then after 3.5, 4 hours of setting it up, the shot's done. No coverage, no nothing, and you move on, and 4 pages just bit the dust. So it's well done. Nina Hartley, though, at the end of the shoot, God, I love that woman. At the end of the shoot, she had started this series called Nina Hartley's Guide to Swinging, Anal Intercourse. And at the end, she gave these films as wrap gifts. So great to see. Anal Intercourse, thank you.
It's better than a hat, right?
I mean, the first day I met her, she's got her legs up on the makeup counter, shaking herself. Hi, Nina. We had a lot of actual adult film actors in it, including, there's a scene, well, this girl's thing was playing she's very slight, a little thing. She plays the young girls in the porn films. And Paul and I were talking one time at lunch, and she came down and sat down sort of between us, and she said to Paul, "Can I ask you a career question?" And he said, "Yeah."
You knew this was going to be good.
At first I was going to excuse myself. I thought, I cannot miss this. She said, "You've been working with me a while now. Can I just be blunt? Should I go legit or should I go anal?" So good luck, Paul.
I mean, what do you think is the best advice in that situation? I mean, because look, I mean, I've now made 3 films, and young actors are coming to me for advice all the time now. I mean, going legit versus going anal. I kind of think that I should just start telling young actors, "Oh, you should go anal." That's be more profitable.
Or take fountain. That's the other.
Was that Betty Davis's advice?
I think that was Betty Davis.
Yeah, she would say when the actors would ask her when they come to LA, "I'm coming to Los Angeles. Can you give me any advice?" "Take fountain." Now, I read somewhere about that scene that it was kind of dangerous for you to do because you had to have like a squib on the side of your head. And usually if you're going to have a squib anywhere on you, they don't want you moving anywhere around before they do the shot. And here you're walking through an entire house with a squib on the side of your head, and if it were to move at all, it could become very dangerous.
No.
Is this a bullshit story?
No. It's not. What was dangerous about it was they let me do it. And I found out since then they don't let actors use that kind of squib. It's a little explosive device that, and it's called a gore gun. And so I had a backpack with all this blood and brains that would come shooting out the back, and it was wired to the pistol so that when I fired the pistol, that's what set off the gore gun. And they don't, that's not allowed anymore. A stunt guy's got to set off the gore gun.
Right.
But there is a cut, because we couldn't figure out a way to do the whole thing with a loaded gun and a gore pack on my back.
Wow.
So there's a cut. Too bad.
Let me ask you about tone for a second, because that's something we were actually just talking about a second ago. We were talking about the idea that tone is this kind of inexplicable thing that if you ask, what a director actually does, it's not really like setting up shots and telling actors what to do. Like that's actually kind of like that's the bullshit stuff that a director does. Really, what a director does is sets tone, and this is something that's always interested me. I mean, it's similar to kind of the film we just watched, where it's not about the words, it's about the feeling that carries through the scenes. And PTA's movies have a very specific tone. You know it the second you're watching one. Is that something you feel on set, or is it just on set, you're on a set of a movie and you don't know until you actually see it?
A little of both. I've been surprised by the final product, that it had a feel to it that I didn't realize was going to be there. I did a little film called The Cooler, and the director kept saying, the score, wait till you hear the score, until I finally said, dude, if you think the music is going to save this, we're in trouble. I was wrong. And when he put that lush score, it was a different sort of film, and he had that in his head the whole time.
Right.
I think, and you're really good at this, the MO on the set, the tone on the set, I think bleeds onto the film. The way you comport yourself, the way you have your first AD comport his or herself. I think tone is set that way.
Right.
The director is, I've always said it, to my mind, it's more like going to war than making art. You need a good general. And I've been known to call in first-time directors, because I do a lot of independent films, and I'd call them in and say, if I catch you making art on my time, we're going to have trouble. You better know what you want, because it's more like going to war.
Yeah, well, there's a managerial element to